Do you want to check your YouTube and see if there is a video being streamed to it? Yeah. And also to verify if you can or cannot hear audio, because based on what I can see, I think you may be able to.
Yep.
You can hear?
Well, here, talk some more.
I'm talking. I'm talking. You can hear me as I'm talking. Yeah, you can hear me. Okay. And there we are. Hello. Greetings. Can y'all hear us? Are we online? Is it happening? Foley's making fun of me because I'm using my ship voice. Hello. Welcome to the USS FoleyPDX.
No, don't, no, no. We're just in the world.
We just exist in the world. Welcome. Welcome
No, it's
to
a-
FoleyPDX.
Such a weird voice.
It's just my voice.
I know.
I don't know what to tell you, bud.
I know. How you doing?
I'm great. Who are you, Foley? Do you want to greet
You
the internet?
no, because you introduced me all by yourself. I'm a ship. Now
Apparently.
I'm a glorious and beautiful ship.
If any of y'all who are watching in the chat can just let us know that you can hear us okay, that you can see us okay, that all is well. And Foley, if you want to click studio mode, it'll take you out of this mode that may or may not.
There we go. I like to pretend I know what I'm doing.
You do know what you're doing.
I don't actually. This is a program I'm highly unfamiliar with.
Well, you know what you're doing. I'm just showing you features that you are not necessarily fully aware of yet and fully comfortable with. So that's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Good afternoon, guys. Folks, pals, peoples, and all of that. You can see a lovely picture over my shoulder right there of Annie's parents.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying. I mean, you don't have to bring it closer. Your dad wants to be the ungoogleable
Here.
man.
Okay, you're right. I need to respect their wishes.
Yeah, respect their wishes.
There we go.
Your mom doesn't seem to care, but your dad would prefer to
My
be.
mom wants to be an Instagram influencer.
What?
Well,
Did she tell you that?
It's more that the library, their local library system, expects my mom to behave as an influencer. And use certain. That's why my mom uses certain hashtags and posts about certain programs. It's in the social media.
The local library.
Yes.
Wants your mom.
Yes.
Your mom. Your mom.
My mother. And her 20 Instagram followers?
To be a hashtag influencer?
Hashtag influencer.
Is that what she posted a picture of her very pale legs?
That was
Recently?
unrelated.
Okay. Alright.
That was her. That was an actual act of personal expression. That was not a.
That was not an attempt to be.
That was not her attempting to participate in a society. That was just.
She's like, look
my
at
mom.
look at my legs.
That was my mom wishing she had a reason to wear something other than slippers and shorts. To be fair, it's flip flops and shorts weather in Texas
It is
right
flip
now.
flops and
My
shorts
mom
weather.
told me that the heat index was 110 degrees the other day.
What does that mean?
It means it feels like it's 110 degrees. According to the thermometer, it was only 101 degrees, but it felt like 110.
This doesn't stuff melt in Texas?
Foley sometimes says, Annie, do you ever want to move back to Texas?
Well, I mean,
then I say things like, the heat index is 110 degrees.
and I go, no, there are other reasons to not.
Yeah, well, there are one or two, but the reason why I left Texas, beyond anything else, was the day I moved out, it was 103 degrees on the thermostat. That was not the heat index.
No.
And it was day 37 in the drought.
Cool.
But humidity was like 80%.
God, humidity, I don't.
I moved to Portland because no humidity, no mosquitoes yet, that we'll get them. And wow, the way I was holding my hands right there made my fingers look much shorter than they are. No, my masculinity, no!
Your masculinity is tied up in your finger? Well, never mind, I'm not answering
Think
that.
about it.
I don't want to.
Anyway, no, yeah, and I'm allergic to everything that grows in Texas.
That's
like
true.
literally, I had a headache for about 13 years uninterrupted that was largely due to allergies in Texas. And the minute I visited Portland, like literally my sinuses opened up and I was like, is this what normal people feel like all the time?
I actually felt that back in the days when I flew down, and when I wanted to, which is rarely ever, when I flew back down to California.
Mm-hmm. Oh, were you allergic to California?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're emotionally
I'm emotionally allergic to California.
But I didn't know you were literally allergic to California.
I'm allergic to something in the air.
Totally.
And there's a very specific type of tree, and if I saw it, I would be able to like
that tree.
That tree.
That's the fucker.
That pollen.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that stuff messes me up.
Allergies are bad. Allergies
mean-
are not fun. I have a friend of mine who suspected she had a peanut allergy. And so to determine if she had a peanut allergy, did she go to a doctor? No. She sat down and she ate a bowl of peanuts to see what would happen. Fortunately, she doesn't have a fatal allergy to peanuts.
Fortunately, your friend did not die.
Fortunately, my friend did not die. If you that you are allergic to things,
Don't
go
do
to
that.
a doctor. And what they do, at least this is my experience,
What do they do?
they made a grid on your arm or on some other large piece of skin, visible skin,
Mhm.
and then in each grid they apply a certain allergen.
Do they draw it in?
I cannot remember the implement that was used. They may well have at the time. They did it once on my arm and once on my back. And my back, with everything they did, was just like a gross blackened mess. Basically.
Okay.
But my point is that they're like, wow, you're basically allergic to Texas, aren't you? And I was like, cool. I live here. But no, I don't anymore. So
No, you don't.
I literally am not allergic to anything in Portland right now. The fun thing about allergies is you can spontaneously develop them and spontaneously get over them. Human body. Anyway, let's talk about literally anything else. Well, not literally anything else. Greetings from Portland, Oregon.
Hey, folks.
Land of obviously riot and chaos.
Yeah.
Clearly, our graffiti problem is so severe that we need national intervention. So, yeah, that's the other thing. Hey, let's not talk about that either.
I just like those like people wearing black, and then there's like a bunch of moms that showed up at the protest last night, pointedly wearing like everything from a JCPenney's catalog, and their bike helmets, being badasses.
Yeah.
I love listening to a bunch of moms chant "All cops are bastards."
Yeah, that was pretty beautiful. Yeah, so Portland, for those of y'all who may be listening or aren't necessarily aware, Portland has been, we were last night was like 52 protests.
I think, yeah.
Against police brutality and in support of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Mm-hmm.
Portland, even prior to this moment of national awareness on police brutality, has experienced a lot of police brutality. Portland has a significant houseless population.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an incredibly marginalized Black population, and yet we have an outsized amount of violence and even murder against Foley, you now have things held for review in chat if YouTube finds them questionable. August, you are found to be questionable by YouTube, your comment.
You're not.
But you're not wrong, my friend. Anyway, we have had a history of violence in Portland for police violence in a long time. Oregon has incredibly racist roots. It is a majority white city by design.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a fascinating place to be progressive because it's a progressive place full of white people. And with an outsized amount of violence against Black people and houseless populations. So anyway, Portland has issues with police brutality beyond the current moment, which is why a lot of Portlanders, myself included, when people on a national scale were freaking out in particular about the recent activities of the Department of Homeland Security, these things aren't necessarily out of line with how Portland police have just been handling the protests so far. It's really been wild to see the police commissioner, our mayor, speak out against the violence that the Department of Homeland Security has been doing, which is the exact same violence that the police department has been perpetrating against us.
The biggest difference is camouflage instead of black.
Yeah. I mean, the police have been covering their badges and their names.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the police have been taking people without reading them Miranda rights. Like, the police have been randomly disappearing people. Like, this is not new. And y'all know me, I'm not a radical. This is just fact. These are just the truth. This is what is happening in our city. So it's a wild moment, but we're being safe. We hope y'all are being safe.
Mm-hmm.
God bless those moms who are out there last night. And God bless all the people who've been protesting for the last 52 evenings. I hope y'all are being safe and being well. So, anyway. Hi.
I'm very stressed out now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It happens.
I'm
it's
sorry,
okay.
Foley.
It's fine. It's fine. It's great.
It's great. No. Foley, talk about your feeling. You're stressed out. What stresses you out about that? All of it?
All of it. Waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and hoping what are they? I saw them called Mom Tifa. And that made me really...
Mom Tifa, Mom Rads. Well, Foley has been scared that the the fact that they are white middle-aged moms would not prevent violence against them.
And didn't.
I mean, it wasn't the level of violence that other protesters have been experiencing, but the moms did in fact get shoved and flashbanged and gassed. So
So I'm just,
it's anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
I will say this though, these are people who are standing against injustice that has always been present.
This is true.
And the difference is that people are standing up.
This is true.
And people are voicing against it and being heard.
Yeah.
Like after the DHS arrived, the night after that day was the largest protest since the protest started. And everybody who's been on the ground all along has said this is a more varied group of protesters because it's people just, quote unquote, normal people. They're all normal people showing up because they want to be part of pushing back. So God bless.
Yeah, definitely.
This is what happens, Foley, when you let me talk.
I know. Well, let you talk is like in our relationship, in the fullness in the history of our relationship, I am the quiet one, and Annie is the talkative one. Annie is the obvious joy, and I am the secret pleasure. That sounds real dirty when I say that.
We have a joke binary that with many people you love who are in a couple, the couple has an obvious joy and a secret pleasure. That's where Foley is.
But I'm like I am the one who will defer and not talk as much. Yeah, trying to work on that. I don't know that it's working. I make a lot of really good facial expressions though.
That counts for a lot. That is communication, bud.
So like, give me an emotion.
Joy. Fear. Delight. Pleasure. Horniness. Concern. Anxiety. Profound happiness. Seeing a long lost friend. Foley's forgotten what seeing a long lost friend is like. I don't know what it's like. Seeing a cat on the street. There we go. That's what seeing genuinely. That is how Foley reacts.
Straight up, it's straight up always followed by street angel.
Street angel. A friend of ours has taken calling cats street angels.
Or they can be window angels. Or they can be yard angels, porch angels.
They're locale angels.
Yeah. There's like location. Is there a hyphen involved in that?
I see them as two distinct words. In the title.
Okay.
Angel is what they are, and then locale is relative.
Okay. All right.
It's ever changing.
Garden angel.
Garden angel. Yeah. So Foley, what do you want to do today on the stream?
I'm gonna do some drawing. Very exciting.
Yeah.
It's super exciting. There was a really cute prompt from Haley, I believe, asking for my Cintiq is super dusty. Asking for bookstore meet cute.
Cute.
And so I'm gonna give that a shot, and I'm gonna see. I did some reference searching beforehand. like a wizard. And I'm gonna give that a shot and see where I get, and just chill out, and that's my plan.
Do you want me to hang around, or do you want me to leave y'all to draw?
I don't know. I mean, like,
it's okay if you want me to.
What are you doing right now?
I was probably gonna finish putting laundry away.
I mean, that's the most erotic thing anyone can say to me
Pretty
at this
much,
moment.
actually. Foley, we finally got rid of the IKEA dressers that we have had
broken IKEA dressers.
11 years? We may have had them for 11 years. They may be some of the oldest furniture that we have had. In
I don't know if anybody else has success. So, like, most IKEA furniture is not intended to move multiple times.
No, it is designed to be assembled and kept in place carefully.
It's yeah.
But if you get solid wood IKEA furniture, it tends to be more durable.
It can be pretty good. So like drawers had finally broken
Yeah.
in them, and so like you would like, where's that shirt? And it was like it's now in the other drawer because or it's behind in the dresser because it has fallen through.
Yeah.
So did that, but definitely the IKEA dressers that we had were enormous.
They're very large.
They were so big.
And I definitely, as a coping mechanism, am a little bit of a clothes hoarder. I struggle with finding clothes that physically fit my body and then emotionally fit who I am.
Yeah.
And
that's also been...
Yeah, and that's been fluctuating quite a bit. So as I have navigated my relationship with my gender and my gender identity, my gender presentation. So like I have been purging a lot of clothes that still maybe fit my body but didn't fit my spirit. And which is a very dismissive way to reflect a really important work that I'm glad I'm doing.
No, yeah.
But yeah, it's been interesting because now I'm to the point where I've pretty much purged all the obvious things that don't work, but I still need to purge some stuff. So now we're down to the hard choices. It's like,
Look at this bald person.
Who's that bald person?
I don't know who they are. I'm just gonna fix it and turn it into something better.
It.
This is probably like somebody's like engagement photo or something.
Yeah, statistically.
You'll see it in a second. Don't worry. But
do
yeah,
hang out or do you want me to work on laundry stuff?
You can work on laundry. I know you're also playing video game.
I am. I'm playing Ghosts of and I'm so Western I can't remember the freaking name. Tsushima?
Tushima?
Yeah. Pardon me. I don't mean to be a big obvious white person, but I'm a big obvious white person. I can't remember the name of the islands that it's on. Anyway,
it's cool. It's samurai.
It's the new game from Sucker Punch Studios that just came out. Yeah, it's a samurai game.
Beautiful.
It's really beautiful. The protagonist has all the personality of a dead rat.
Well, no, I mean, like, I feel like that. This is something I was trying to talk to my pal Kate about the other day. Is that like a lot of like open world RPG
that's totally
characters are ciphery,
yeah.
And they're ciphery so that you can then go in and insert certain things. And this happened with Mass Effect. Now there's character customization, character customization in Mass Effect, but like Assassin's Creed, Red Dead.
Yeah,
we did not enjoy Red Dead.
I would disagree that either John Marston or
you didn't feel that in the beginning, because we're about the same distance in. You didn't feel that in the beginning, Arthur, who we now have fond feelings for.
I think that Arthur Morgan was a much more well-developed character.
Okay.
Even from the start, I may not have liked him.
Yeah.
But I had a very clear sense of who he was.
Okay.
This guy, I have no idea.
I would agree with that. I would agree with
other than an honor,
not knowing who he is. There is a really funny mechanic in it where they make a big deal about like his family's swords, his father's swords.
Oh gosh, this is so weird.
And then they're like, but you can buy other swords. And I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah, so it's a game that has like this customization layer where you can customize your outfits, and there are stat bonuses to wearing different outfits.
Sure.
But you can also change the colors of those outfits. You can change the color of your swords and everything like that. But yeah, you can also get different swords altogether. Mm-hmm. After making a huge deal that you carried the sword of your family. It reminds me of in Dragon Age 2 when Aveline has her husband's shield.
Yeah.
And over the course of the game, you upgrade characters' weapons and you replace the shield. But that shield is deeply sentimental to her. It was her dead husband's shield. And what I love about Dragon Age 2 is that she talks to you about that. You can upgrade. It's just changing out her inventory. But she confronts you about it because she's heartbroken because it was her husband's shield. And she knows that the practical thing to do is to switch to something superior. But she's like, you sold it. Like, it's gone. Like, it's what am I...
I don't know that I was around for that.
Yeah, it was a thing.
I mean, that seems like something Hawk would do.
It does seem like something Hawk would do. All right, baby.
Can't date you. Go to sell your shield.
Yep. All right, sweethearts. Have fun drawing with Foley. I'll be back.
All right, guys. We'll do the thing. I need to be in the right window. Oh, it's that button. Okay. All right. See, it's probably somebody's engagement picture or something like that. But I'm gonna make this better. I'm gonna mess with some things. Orange. Do you want a kitten? I mean, I would accept a kitten. She is shouting. Where is she?
She was shouting for me to sit down and pet her.
Give her to me. Give me my baby.
Here you go.
Here, just set her on the counter. There we go. There we go. Here, you chill out. Whoop. He's good. That's a purr, buddy. Okay. So a lot of times, something that I enjoy doing, something that I'll do often when I'm looking for stuff is look for thing, couple. Just because I'm like looking for like people and body sizes and shapes like interacting with each other, and that means that there's a lot of like stock photo pictures of straight people on the internet, shocking no one. But yeah, so like that's sometimes can be a good like reference jumping off point. I saw something the other day that was someone talking about their process, which was to basically like do a sketch first and then search for reference, which if it like not to think if that works for you, that's awesome. I find that it can be difficult to, if you're looking for something really in particular, you're looking for inspiration to begin with. Sometimes starting with reference but not relying on it can be really helpful. And I get that their gist was like start doodling something and see. My thing is like it can be really difficult to challenging for people and challenging for some people are bad at Googling things. I'm bad at Googling things. So it can be challenging when you're like trying to find the right angle, or the right feeling, if that makes sense. Sometimes it's nice to start somewhere. So we're gonna, this is where I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna go from here and hang out for a little bit. I found this to be sort of, parts of it are charming. I don't know, we'll see what I could do with it. But we're gonna start with just some basic shapes and try and like also fill in where some things probably are. I do think it's fun. I have a friend of mine who has a comic, and I think one of the sets, one of the like locations is a library. And I remember like having a conversation with them where they're like, it was the dumbest thing I ever did is to basically like make one of those to make a library a location. Not because libraries aren't cool. Libraries are very cool, but libraries are also full of books. And if you look at the amount of patience that it takes to appropriately, you can stripe color and you can give the suggestion of books, but if you're like dedicated to like drawing them in a specific style or something, that can be very hard. No, I'm very appreciative that Annie is doing some tidying, mostly because yesterday I ended up spending the bulk of my day building a little like wall shelf thing for me and a like 3 foot long cubby situation for let's see where, yeah, I like where that's going. So sometimes, I mean, like, this is where I want to start. This is what I want to work with. And we'll but yeah, drawing. Oh, built a cubby situation for myself and a thing for her, and it's so that she can store and display her enormous collection of bandanas. Annie has a lot of bandanas, and so she's like cleaning up and like doing all that, and I'm super appreciative of that because it was nice to build her something. I like building her useful things. I feel like that's, people are like, oh, that's your love language thing. Yeah, I like building stuff. I love building useful objects. I did it all while listening to Philosophy Tube, which was awesome, and then also totally made me lose track of time. Every time I'm drawing on YouTube, or lately, I'm like, oh right, that's one of the reasons I thought I'd give Twitch a try, is that Twitch lets me play whatever music I'm listening to, and YouTube will shut off my stream, and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. So we're gonna draw in silence. But yeah, we've been playing Ghost got it when it came out. We're lucky enough to be able to. And I have been, I mean, it's nice to have a video game to, but it is interesting because we're coming off of, we did play The Last of Us 2, and we're coming off of playing that, and a Naughty Dog game is so different from, there are different priorities placed as far as like aesthetic, and Sucker Punch does an interesting, like they do some interesting stylization, and definitely there's some really, really stunning elements to this, like being out and seeing the way that the wind reacts, and like that they use it as a means with which to tell you where to go, and like it's very lyrical, and it's very pretty. Yeah, I don't know, but we're also like not that far into it, and so still figuring all that stuff out, and but it's nice to listen to a story. We're gonna end up getting rid of that here. Love it. Let's spend time drawing stuff that's just gonna be blocked by a book more than likely. I don't know. Could be interesting to have there be two options. Orange has been very vocal and very expressive about how lonely she is. She has been appreciative of Annie or I when we will take time to specifically sit down with her. It's great how much of that's going to get blocked. I actually kind of love it. So, There we go. I woke up today and I dealt with ants, the best. And then I proceeded to get that over with and make some coffee cake, because that has replaced making coffee cake has replaced my desire to make banana bread. So that's where I'm at. I'm glad Annie appreciates it. I also had a friend of mine tell me that that every time that they hear me say, I had dropped by and given them some of that coffee cake that I made, and now they say every time that they hear me say that I made more, their knee-jerk desire is to tell me to bring them some. Which, you know, it's nice that people like the things I make. Also need a haircut. Haircut would be cool. I also need like peace and equality for all people. That would be really, really good. That would be great. Nearby, it is always great when your partner can cut your hair for you. It is. I feel know a handful of people who are in a situation where they're having to like isolate alone and don't have, you know, somebody there. I think one of the only reasons that I'm feeling as good as I am, good is not the right word, but one of the reasons that I feel like I'm able to kind of get through stuff is that I have Annie. And there are days when things are hard for her, and there are days when things are hard for me. But ultimately, in the end, you know, we have each other, and I'm very grateful for that. Your wife, everybody, your wife buzzed her head. I mean, same.
If you want to get a haircut on stream, we could do that.
I don't want to. I mean, like, yes, but not in this room.
Yeah.
I was actually told by my friend who cuts hair that for every queer couple that she cuts hair for, where she cuts both of their hair, that has pretty much been the outcome. There has been one person who has like a dexterity aptitude to like basically cut hair, and like do an okay job of it. And then there has been the other person, and that person is normally the person that just goes, just screw it, I'm bald, like, just, I'm gonna shave my head. But that it has been like, so those people will, Oregon's at a point where that, though very like restricted is kind of the wrong word, but like she's back working and masked up in the whole deal, and like with distancing and everything. But she's like, when those couples come in for their individual visit, she's like, oh, you're the one that shaved your head. And Annie and I fall into that category as well, because I was just like, I want to be able to maintain it as something that is comfortable, and like, I mostly wear a baseball cap, so most people, I really did partially look at it as like, who am I trying to impress? The answer is Annie in orange, always Annie in orange. I also hurt my back the end of last week, and it's on Friday or Thursday, and was able to get in and have it looked at, and haven't seen the chiropractor in a year, somewhere around there, and there's just this feeling of like him going like, oh, this is very gnarly in here. Yeah, I know. Not always good at taking care of myself. My back is a constant. My back is a constant state of discomfort. Yeah, it gets better. And I also just need to be nice to it. I think I only get really frustrated when I actually try to be careful and to do everything, and then it still acts up. But I think it's mostly acting up from like standing on concrete and like being in an awkward position and probably not taking an appropriate amount of breaks. You know, just stuff. So yeah, it's a reminder to try to take better care of myself, and which is, you know, not something I'm typically good at. Something I can work on. Two people smooching. Does it matter who they are? Friend of Patreon person and friend Haley requested a bookstore meet cute as a sketch prompt, and I felt A, like that would be a fun thing to draw, and B, it was, I mean, more than likely knowing their interests in my work, probably asking that it's a Supergirl Lana Luthor thing, but it's also just possible that just drawing two people smooching would be a nice thing to see. That's kind of where I'm going. See, when Annie is here, Annie fills the voids of my Annie talks. I don't talk quite as much. So it is genuinely a real insight into how I work. That it's like it's quiet and it's you know it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's nice to be silent sometimes. But yeah, in the start of the stream, the reference image that I had was this, which was just something I dug up on Google, which actually yeah, bookstores are rife with various angles and I too miss. I don't even like. I tend to get kind of overwhelmed going into bookstores, and I miss bookstores. So I get you there. Go have dinner. Go enjoy. Go enjoy family stuff. There's this part. It's like, and then there are books, because that is going to be the far more tedious part of doing something like this. Is I think almost made worse because I actually know how to build a bookshelf. So I know what it ultimately should look like. pretty sure, and actually it would be interesting to do that. I've been messing around with custom brushes and have actually learned to make some for one of the jobs that I'm on. Just because the time invested in making any kind of custom brush does ultimately save me time. And I wonder, I mean, statistically, someone has probably made a book brush. I'll have to mess around with that. That could be really fun. I can see how you can make a flat one for just doing like flat backgrounds. Ooh, put it in the right folder. Or for the desktop for now, that's fine. Thank you, August. it's so funny. The reference picture has like books set at all of these like. I've been into Powell's. Like I know how sometimes how stuff is arranged sometimes, and when it has to be like arranged by author and stuff like that, so that like the spines of the books. And then I look over at my bookshelf, and for the most part, my bookshelf is like very orderly, and like things are like more separated by type of book. Like, is it a reference book? Is it a fiction book? Is it a nonfiction book? I don't organize by author, so then stuff is like scaled by size inside of that, and I'm like, not a Dewey Decimal System. I am not a librarian. But yeah, so like the idea, I think that might actually be one of the reasons that going into like big bookstores, which is so and so funny that I'm like not organized. What's happening?
How's it going, champ?
You want to take a look?
Absolutely, I do. Cute! Oh my god, cute! Oh my god, cute! Oh my god, cute! Oh my god, cute!
Okay, this is normally...
Cute!
Actually, this hasn't happened in a while.
It's cute! It's cute. Mwah.
Here you go. Here's
Cute.
Here's the fun part.
Cute. Yeah! It's almost like you're smart and you know what's going on underneath. Makes a more complete.
Also,
final
it's
piece.
exciting. Just take the book away.
Fully, I love this. I love that you did. You alter like the photo a little bit to get like a little, or like the composition of the photo a little bit to get a little more of her face, Lena's face.
I didn't actually.
Oh, because I like that you can see like just this hint of her eye. That's so cute.
Thank you.
I want to get kissed in a bookstore.
I mean, we can go over to the bookshelf and I can kiss you.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's for the special stream.
It's not. We don't do that. That's not. That's for me. I think that. I mean, this one. This would be a lot to ink.
Yeah, but it's cute.
But it's cute, and Annie
It's really
likes it.
cute.
And really, that's
What a good print that would make.
and August likes it.
And August likes it. That's all that matters.
Annie and August. That's it. That's if Mirabai was here, Mirabai might like it too. I don't know. Okay. What was that?
Bailey's tiny scream as we both turn the corner.
Bailey, come here. Okay. Nope. Not interested in me. I heard it again.
Yeah.
Does she want attention?
No, she's scared because I heard her when she did it again. Bailey, you want to put you on the bed? No? Bailey? What's up? What do you want? Do you want love? Do you want to be loved? Here. Stand here.
Then I can sit here. And then you can sit here.
Here, I'm just gonna.
Hi. It's time to pet Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Have you considered Bailey pet time?
Actually, there's a bookstore, a used bookstore in Portland. Is it still in Portland, or is it called Barely?
Oh, it's technically in Gresham.
Technically, it's in Gresham. It's called Barely Read Books.
And bear like the
Bears
animal.
spelled like the animal, and it's largely serial westerns and romance novels.
Uh-huh.
Lots of romance novels.
Like it's very clear. They have like a rental program where you can borrow a book for $0.25, and it's clearly been going for like 20 years. I'm absolutely going to steal it. It's going to appear in a lesser degree in Divorce Ranch. I'm actually really excited to get to that.
Yeah. But the bookshelves that are there, so like you see the gap that's right here, the bookshelves that are there have these like enormous like shelfless gaps where stuff is just like stacked on stacked on stacked on stacked.
It's a panic attack. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, you are.
It's like it's the sort of thing that like it could not have been created today, but it still exists. It's for moms. It's like literally a bookstore. It's like a lending library for moms.
I feel like it's a bookstore, like it's a lending library for like voracious readers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so like because reading, it's one of those things where like if you aren't close enough to a library, or your library
may not have what you're interested in.
or the library may not have what you're interested in.
Like if you want to read every Harlequin romance novel that ever existed, maybe the library won't be able to help you, but fucking barely read books sure will.
Yeah. They'll have it.
They'll have it, Bailey.
Foley. This is so cute.
Thanks.
I'm charmed by this.
Thanks. It was a really good idea. It was a really good idea given to me by a very sweet patron.
Yeah. Why, Foley, is there a level of your Patreon where patrons can make sketch suggestions?
There is. It's in there. Patreon's interesting because, like, I feel I am so grateful for the folks who contribute, and ultimately I'm a person who has worked in the retail industry for so long that I'm like, is this worth, you know, I often think less about is how much it affects my time and like how much effort I have to put into something as I do like, is this worthwhile for someone who's contributing, which is just like just kind of an interesting place. But so I have the tier that Sketch Suggestions is at is a $25 a month tier, and you can make 5, and you know, it's, I got some good ones and some lovely folks participating in it, and it gets me drawing and gets me making stuff, which I'm super grateful for. Gets me streaming, and figuring all that out, and it's yeah, like I was saying, it's okay. Now I'm tempted. I have some flat book areas. I'm tempted. I'm gonna try something really fast. I'm gonna try and make a book brush. So hold on one second.
Ooh.
Yeah, I should be able to do it on here. Okay. So making brushes is very new to me, but it's fascinating. And let's see, I want to this. Okay, yeah, and selection. Invert the selection here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add. Want it to be opaque, so I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna add. This is easier to see if I take the paper away. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add a white background. And this would just be for a sketch layer. Like, this is not like, the intention is not to have like high detail stuff, though you could do that. I just want to try proof of concept, try a really basic thing right here. So what we're going to do, there we go. And we're going to go to edit. We're going to go to register material, register image. It's right there. See if this works. Use as brush tip. let's see. I want to save it to a specific thing. I'm going to go image materials. I'm going to go brush. I'm going to go, okay. Then what I have to do is go into here, and I want something that's similar. So like I want something that's going to, actually this might work, because I want something that's just going to like lay right next to each other. So we're going to go in here, and we're going to change its brush tip. You can see I've already got a dotted line right here, so I'm going to change its brush tip, and let's see. Facing the wrong direction. We're getting close though. We also need to change its name. Okay, so what we have learned is we need to rotate this bad boy. Too much? 180 is, wait, not right? Okay. Alright, so we're going to do same process we did before. Doesn't hurt. We're going to go here. We're going to click right there. What I'm doing is I'm pressing the... I have a Mac. What would be the... There's Control, there's Shift, there's Alt, there's... And what's the other one? Hey, Annie. The key on your keyboard that's supposed to be like the Apple key or the Command key? I think it's the Command key. It's Control, Command, and Alt, right? It's something like that on...
Alt is Option. Control.
I think it's the Option key on... So, because I've got a Windows, like my keyboard is a Windows keyboard.
Yeah.
But I think it's like it's either Command or it's Option. And then I click inside this picture right here, and it auto selects everything that's in there. So I want to go back and register material. I'm going to just do it again. We're going to book V2. We're going to use this brush. And we're going to go save it in the right place. Okay. It's all about figuring out how to do it. I'm sure there's people that do this all the time, and therefore, like, it's something that... Let's see, I don't want to lock it. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go to brush tip. Going to go to material. Going to add a material. Oh no! Let's see. We go. Ah, that's why. Okay. Watch me struggle with technology. Okay. I get it. Okay, it needs to be... needs to be flipped the other direction. Unless, let's see, can we? We can, I think. Hold on. Yes!
Yeah.
And this is just... Okay. So we're going to try this. And we're going to say... I guess this is called robot. We'll change it later. Okay, we're going to change it. I'm just curious if this works. It's going to look, I mean, it's going to look repetitive. There's not a whole bunch that I can do with that. But... Okay, that's cool. So then I can mess with my brush size. And we're going to get rid of this. We're going to throw the paper texture back in. And I don't know if these are time-saving tips so much as they're just like, it can be very rewarding to figure out how a particular program that you work in works. And then you can go in and you can adjust that kind of stuff, and yeah, it can, that's interesting. Thank you for going on this journey with me as I make custom brushes. Pretty cool. I can see how that could be a time saver. At least definitely in a like a sketch phase. Oh, that's kind of okay. Cool. The thing about it is, like, I can go in and I can mess with this, but then I'm not like laying out as much of the original shapes as you would be, which is just kind of nice. That's cool. So there you go. It's not a very good tutorial of making a brush inside Clip Studio. Oh. And like another thing with it is, like, because it's inherently pretty flat, like I can't imagine it would work well for working on like angled planes or like But yeah, one of the things about doing something like this would be like being able to get basic shapes in so that you could go in and adjust things to be a little bit more random, but not have to do all of that work over again. It's just kind of nice. It's good to have tools for specific purposes. So then you can be like, okay, all the flat looks I'm going to do with this brush, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to like adjust their spines and adjust their maybe add some like ones that are stacked differently, and then I just have to deal with all the angled bookshelves. Actually, we'll make another one. Okay. I'll do this. There we go. Selection. Invert. And I actually want to go in and make sure a couple of these areas would be not opaque. Looks like I got it there. Okay. All right. So we'll go to here. Well, again, you want to make sure that you get everything because you can see that this got missed. Okay, so all of that has white underneath it, just a background color because it makes it opaque. And then we're going to condense these two layers. We're going to do Command and we're going to click inside this picture, which selects what I had selected before, ostensibly. We now know that it is facing the right direction to be used for this particular brush. And what we're going to go do is we're going to go in here. It's not robot. I need to figure out and rename that. But we're going to create a copy of currently selected subtool. That's what I want to do. Boom. And we can rename it here to books 2. And for sake of this, let's capitalize that. Change it to that. We'll go. Ooh, I can change the color of the background. Sure, why not? Okay, so we're gonna do this, but we need to go in and we want to change. So we press this guy right here, the little wrench, and I want to go into brush tip, and I want to get rid of this guy, delete it, and I want to remember that I haven't set this up yet. Great at doing things. Okay, we're gonna back out of this for right now. Okay, so we need to do this guy, and it's selected and it's ready to go. So we go register material, register image, books, right. Use as brush tip. Go here, go image material, go brush, go OK, and we'll get rid of this. And we're in books 2. We want to add an item, and what we want to add is this guy right here. Okay, so and we want to say save all settings as default. Get rid of it. Okay, then what should happen is on a layer that's active, so we'll go back to the bookshop layer, and that should mean, yeah, we're gonna do a little selection. And we'll test this tool out. And the thing is if I start, there we go. Yeah. So I think that the brush is a little big. Yeah, but it's all about like dialing in. And then if you start, yeah, like that. This way I can have, it's nice to just be able to have a little bit more variation in how stuff comes out. And selecting is just a nice way to prevent it from a lot of times created brushes will have like a blip when they start, so it's kind of nice to start and run it from the side. Just because, here, I'll show you. So like this would curve, which could be neat. I mean, I guess I could, in books, spell something. Hold on a second. I'm curious. That's kind of fun. But you can see if you don't like it'll basically like warp the that's very fun. Oh, don't save. So anyway, yeah. So one thing that would be probably pretty neat to do would be like after everything gets laid in and after figuring out every like getting the books dialed into where like you like them, they're not too distracting. It would probably be pretty neat to like take everything that's kind of in, you know, these areas over here, or I'll use a selection tool to kind of like everything that's like roughly back in this area, and to blur it to give a little bit of depth. That would probably be pretty nice. Anyway, that's, you know, more or less. Yeah. I think because of my My I was using a jigsaw a lot last week, so my wrist is kind of acting up. So I think I'm actually gonna call it here, and I'll probably do a little bit more work on this after I send stuff up, and I'll post it to Patreon. Y'all will get a good look first, and then yeah, it'll end up on Tumblr, and maybe y'all like it enough that I'll want to finish it. And if that's the case, it'll could potentially become print. So and I mean, it's sort of a what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, yeah, it's charming. It was a really good idea. I'm grateful for folks who support me on Patreon. And love y'all, and hope that you know that you're loved. And make some art, and love each other. So, thanks, guys. It's fun to make brushes with you and draw smooching in a bookstore. So, have a good day.